What's going on, everybody? Blazing here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're talking Ice Golem. How are you going to be able to progress through Ice Golem? It is one of the toughest dungeons to do. Now, it doesn't have some of the best gear sets, but once you start moving into the late game, you're definitely going to need a couple of reflex sets, Curse, and Provoke. But how do we get there? Is there an easy way? We're going to find out. We're going to break this down like we did both in the Dragon and Spider video. And I'm going to show you guys how you want to build your team from stage 1, normal, all the way up to 10, hard mode. All right, there's a couple of things to know about the boss itself. Now, the biggest thing here is you got to make sure Frigid Vengeance doesn't proc, because that is 99% of the time what is going to screw up your team, especially if you try to do a fast run. What does Frigid Vengeance do? Well, attacks all enemies one time whenever Clyce's HP drops below 75, 50, or 25%. This attack will revive a dead ally, so he's got 2 minions at the end when you get to him, to 100% HP. This attack will ignore 50% of the target's defense for each ally alive, so you have to make sure you take those adds down or just whittle them down slowly. Now, on hard mode, he ignores 100% of your defense, okay? So there's no mitigating that. This attack also has a 20% chance of placing a freeze for 1 turn. The chance of placing a freeze debuff increases to 40% for each ally alive. So it goes up to 100%, right? So it's really, this is the number one thing you need to worry about. Other than that, he doesn't really hit too hard with his A1 or his A2. It's not gonna kill you. It's the Frigid Vengeance that you got to worry about. Now, how do we counter that? Well, for one, we need to make sure that we bring decrease attack on the boss, right? Making sure that the boss has decrease attack is going to give us a little bit of a, damage decrease from him. So that is absolutely needed. Some of the other things you can do is bring champions that have shield sets that you can extend maybe. Or bring champions that are going to give you an ally protection. It's a little harder to do, but some of this, like trying to burn him, or not burn him, but trying to just nuke him to oblivion isn't the way to take him out. Some of the stages you can do it, some of the stages you can't do it. So just like we did with the other 2 videos discussing on how we're going to break this down, again, stage 1 to 13, you can pretty much nuke. Campaign Farmer can go right in and he's not going to have a problem, right? Let's put in my bellower here. He's still going to go through, take all the adds down, take the boss down, no problem. In a lifesteal set, again, I currently have mine with, I want to say like 160, 170 crit damage, 200 speed, 100% crit rate in a lifesteal set. No problems. Again, 1 through 13, you can just blow the ads up, blow everything up, and you're not going to have a problem, as long as your gear's semi-decent for an early game account. Now, moving on from 14 all the way up to 20, that strategy does not work. There are a couple of different ways you can do it. If you're going to try to nuke the boss, God bless you, it's going to be tough. You're going to need a lot of support, right? When I mean support, you're going to need champions that are going to have revive on death. You're going to need champions that are going to give you a block damage type of situation. You're going to need unkillables. Don't bring a seer with her A3, right? She's going to nuke the boss, but at the same time, she's going to rip off all your buffs. And if you do not kill him with that one shot, because from stage 14 to stage 20, you can still one shot the boss. There's no enemy max cap. Then it's going to be, kind of SOL, you lost your energy. So the best ways from stage 14 to stage 20 is going to be poisons, stacking up as many poisons as you possibly can. I had champions like my Battle Gazard. Actually, let's just go through and let's show some of the champions that you can use that have poisons. HP burns work good, but poisons tick a lot more. You can stack up a lot more poisons, right? So you can use champions like Chagor. Let's bring some epic choices in here. Let's go include in Master Vault and Reserve Vault. You got Aox, right? Even though he's negative affinity, you may not want to do that one here. Venomage comes in pretty strong. Eurogrim is another one. You have Librogia. She's from Doom Tower, so it's going to be a while till you get her. Kale can be really strong. Now, if you're going to bring Kale, I suggest you bring some sort of other supports around him, right? He will nuke because of his A2 and his A1. So it's not, or his A2 and his A3, sorry. So it's not ideal unless you're just going to leave the A1 on him. Frozen Banshee has a poison sensitivity, right? And turn meter fill and poisons on the A1. She could be really good. You have other champions such as, let's take some of these out. You have champions like Taragi the Frog, who actually does bring a provoke, a decrease attack, and can also heal up everybody else with poisons every time he's attacked. So he's a solid choice. And then for legendary ones, you have Battle Khazard, who was one of my favorites. You have Mithrala, right? You have Nishak. Nishak actually is probably one of the strongest ones because he does bring in poisons. Except for, again, affinity on stage 20, that's going to be pretty hurtful. So to summarize it all up, you need to bring decrease attack on stage 14 to 20, and you should probably try to take him down with poisons and just give yourself some supports. The runs may not be fast. The more poisons you stack, the better off you'll be. So moving on to stage 21 to 25. Nothing really changes here, so we can use everything that we did with stages 14 to 20. Enemy max HP hits are less, right? We only can hit for 10%. And to be quite honest, it's not really worth it, right? You don't want to try to bring enemy max HP hitters because remember, Frigid Vengeance is going to hit a lot harder. So everything that we did basically for stage 14 to 20, so bringing in HP burns, decrease attack, bringing in good supports, bringing in block damage or unkillables, and then trying to kill the boss with poisons. It's pretty much what you're going to want to do here. Try to stay away from hard-hitting nukes. Now, if you have a block revive for the ads, the side ads, go for it. But I'm going to tell you it's not really worth it, right? You're better off just trying to poison the boss to oblivion. All right, so let's talk hard mode. Hard mode, everything changes. Now, here, poisons don't do as much damage or any damage at all. The best way to deal with the bosses here is blow up the ads, use, your seer or whatever nuker you're going to bring in. And then when you get to the boss, you really want to have a good HP burn and an HP burn activator. So for me, my team that I use here is actually, well, let's see if I have it set up. Here we go. So I have Lydia, I have Artak, and I have my Kymar along with Seer. Seer will basically blow up the ads on wave 1 and 2. Lydia will come in to give her the decreased defense and weaken. And then Kymar's there for just the reset. And then the star of this is actually Artak. Artak has the HP burn and decreased attack, right? And then he can extend it with the A1. And also has a really solid passive that gives him more survivability as he loses his enemy max HP, right? As his HP is destroyed. So ideally, you're looking for HP burns here. Any HP burns are better than no HP burns, right? You do not want to bring anything in other than HP burns. Try not to, no enemy max HP hitters. Again, there are some compositions that you can bring enemy max HP hitters with unkillables, but it's not as easy as said. So go get yourself a Chronum if you can. Well, you got to play some alt accounts for a little while. I've done a couple of giveaways on him, but he's actually a pretty solid champ to get for that. If you had Ninja, he's pretty good. You just can't build him for any nuke, right? Champions like our boy here, Tyrant Dixelmore, who brings in HP burn, gives himself some heals on the A1, increased defense and ally protection. Ideally, you're just looking for everybody else to die and one solo champ. And just to give you a rough build on what you should look for, this is pretty much it. You're looking for high HP, defense for the ads, right? It's really important that through the waves, if you're not going to be able to nuke them up, that you have enough defense so you can survive to the boss. Speed, he's going to gain more as you go on. You don't care about crit rate or crit damage. Remember, We do not want to proc Frigid Vengeance. Resistance is a big thing on a champion like this. You want to make sure that you do not give them the opportunity to land any debuffs on you. And then accuracy, 350 is enough. Now, I will say I do have mine in a regen set. You can use a regen immortal. You can use a bolster in immortal. But keeping survivability on him is a big, big thing. Well, I hope that this video helped. And if it did help, consider smashing that like button down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you have some time, join us every Sunday, 2 p.m. EST for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where we dive into the world of Raid Shadow Legends, discussing everything from free-to-play strategies to pay-to-win insight, and covering the journey from early to mid-game. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned player, we have something for everyone. Don't miss out on the Knights of Teleria podcast, the only podcast for Raid Shadow Legends. As always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys next time.